Today, modern libraries are more about communities and about what we can do for communities and the people that are living in our communities. So not only are they coming for the materials that we're offering them, whether it's a book material or whether it's a DVD, but they're coming for socialization and those types of life skills that we can offer here at the library. Securing funding for the library is extremely important because we are partially funded by state aid, obviously, but in these turbulent economic times, we never can be certain on whether or not that contribution will be steadfast, if you will. So we always hope and we try to cultivate not only relationships with our state partners and our local support, but it's so important to get financial support from our patrons because we need to always be able to supplement and make sure that we have the additional monies, not only for purchasing materials, but for providing programs that we can offer to families. Our goal is to always offer things at minimal to zero cost. That is our goal. So with the financial support of our patrons and our local businesses, we're able to ensure that that happens so that we don't have to cut programming or maybe cut hours or any of that sort of thing. We're able to grow and continue to offer unique programming. So an annual appeal is so very important. It's a time where we can reach out individually to our past donors and to perhaps people in the community that have never donated before to ask them to think about the importance of the library and to really share with them and maybe even educate them on what we do. And through that appeal, then we can ask them to support new ideas, new innovative things that we want to grow in the following year. And it's really important to them to understand what those programs might be, and an annual appeal gives us that opportunity. I learned about Affinity Connections through a Pennsylvania Library Association conference. I was able to sit down and actually share some of my concerns and downfalls about past annual appeals that were happening here at the library. And it felt really comfortable for me to work with Affinity Connections right there at the conference because we started to brainstorm and think about ways that we can improve our annual campaign, things that we weren't doing before, and making sure that we were capturing the importance of my message. I think that was actually the most important part, was trying to figure out what the message should be. And through the experience of the individuals that I was working with at Affinity Connections, I was able to really do that and feel good about it and know that through working with them step by step, that it was done in a very professional way so that when my community members were receiving the piece, that it looked like it was professionally done and that it was going to be well received. As an executive director, knowing that the annual campaign is such an important part of our operations for a fiscal year for a library, it can be very stressful because you want to make sure that you're hitting the deadlines in the most appropriate times to hit donors, but you also want to make sure that your appeal is done in a way that is professional and educational and honest. And by working with Affinity Connections, I know that they are there to guide me and to ensure that we stay on task, whether it's from a time perspective or from gathering the appropriate addresses and working with me to make sure we're pinpointing the right target audiences. And it really just, it feels like a partnership. It's not as if I'm there on my own, making sure that the piece is being dropped at a particular point in time, because I know that we're working together on it as a team, and that in itself is extremely valuable. Last year, we actually saw an improvement already by using Affinity Connection just the first year round. Prior to using Affinity Connections, we spent a substantial amount of money with a very low return. Last year, when we used Affinity Connections, we already saw that our initial contributions by using the mailer actually it doubled. So we're not exactly quite where we want to be yet, but we're definitely seeing by using Affinity Connections that they're helping us move in the right direction. I think had we not met Affinity Connections through our professional contacts, we would be struggling. We probably would not have a well-prepared annual campaign. I think that we would be really struggling with the data compilation and trying to do it very manually and not really paying attention to where we're going to get the most contributions from in terms of focusing on those groups that we know will probably want to give some sort of donation, whether it's a $5 donation or a $50 donation. We certainly would not have the professional look, the professional feel to our campaign. We probably would be behind schedule because we don't have a partner helping us through the important critical time, the time milestones, if you will. So I think we would be struggling. I really do. I think Affinity Connection brings a great deal of experience. Working directly with them, I have seen what they have done for other libraries besides my own, and I think that their innovative mannerisms in which they understand the library community and what libraries can offer their communities, they are being able to showcase public libraries across the board and help them actually bring larger revenue streams in and be proactive and thinking outside of the box on how we can actually accumulate more donations. So their experience is definitely very obvious. They've done a lot with other libraries, and I think that that experience speaks for itself.